Now, if you want more video clients and you've tried all the strategies that everyone shouts about online, they used to work really well. The main thing that is generating everyone in 4Creatives, the bigger deals with monthly retainers, is, drumroll, you need to be someone people actually want to work with. Sounds obvious, but most videographers say client acquisition is their biggest issue, yet they skip this step completely. They dive into outreach strategies, cold DMs and ads and funnels, which all do work, but they've never stopped to ask, would I hire me based on how I show up? Because the truth is that you're in the business of visibility. Your job is to increase the visibility of your client's brand. So if you're not doing the same for yourself, why should anyone trust you to do it for them? So let's jump in on how to get more clients. Part 5 of an 8-part series in future-proofing yourself as a video creative. Right then, you know by now that people don't just buy video services, regardless of whether you're operating in the B2B space, the B2C space, or whatever else. Everything is P2P. People buy from people. How you speak, how you present yourself online, how confidently you explain your process, how consistently you show up in their feed, in their inbox, in their mind. That's personal branding, and it's not optional anymore. Especially if you want to be part of the movement of solo video creatives, sometimes with a small team, who are replacing mid-tier video agencies. Because most agencies, although bloated and dated, do have polished scale and processes. The only way you're going to be able to compete is by being more personal, more visible, and more trustworthy. And that starts with you. You and your own brand is part of the way you future-proof your business, right? Something I went over thoroughly in part 1. If you happen to miss it, you can have a little look up there. So let's get practical. You don't need to be an influencer. You don't need to dance on reels or show us your fucking dinner or whatever else. But you do need to own your perspective, right? So ask yourself, what do I believe about video and its potential that no one else is saying? And what kind of businesses do I help? And how do I do it? And what do I understand about the actual business benefits of good content? And what's the deeper outcome of working with me? And then share that relentlessly. That's how you go from an unknown freelancer to a trusted authority. And it's not about more followers, right? It's about building brand memory in the right people. And this is something embedded into our creatives in 4Creatives. They position themselves as someone worth working with. That's how Dan's doing 23k months, Roxanne's charging 18k for projects, Nick's 12x his income, Nathan has 10x his, all of which you can check in depth on this channel, and the links are in the description. But here's where most creatives go wrong. They make one great post, one great reel, one great piece of content for themselves, and then silence for 3, 4, 5 weeks. And yes, I'm looking at you. You know you've done it. This doesn't build trust. It doesn't create visibility. It doesn't lead to DMs from ideal clients. If you're serious about getting consistent leads, you need a system, okay? Because personal brand isn't just what you say, it's how consistently you show up and reinforce what you say. So let me simplify it, right? A working client acquisition system for video creatives has 3 components. Firstly, the person you are: confident, clear, strategically minded, someone who gets results and communicates very well. Secondly, the way you show up through your content, through your outreach, through your interactions. And thirdly, the system that projects you daily. Automated content planning, repurposed case studies, thought leadership snippets, strategic DMs or email sequences. You can automate in many different ways as well, depending on where you're doing it. If people don't see you, they won't trust you, okay? And if they don't trust you, they won't hire you. Trust is everything. So visibility without clarity is just gonna be noise, okay? And clarity without visibility is just invisible. You need both. And that's what your personal brand system delivers. So let's flip it, right? Here's what happens when you don't have this locked in. You rely on referrals and your pipeline completely dries up. You send cold messages, but no one bites because they don't know you. And you book discovery calls, but the prospect isn't warmed up and doesn't see your value prior to even jumping on the call. And you keep saying, I just need to find the right clients, but they're not finding you. And this is what I see every week from talented video creatives. They've got the skills, they're beautiful filmmakers, right? Very good skills, but no brand, no voice, and no system. And that's just not sustainable anymore. And that is now very hard to scale. So really good example, right? Let me tell you about one of the guys in 4Creatives. His name's Jamie. He's ex-army, he's a skydive videographer, and now he's branching out to more elaborate branded content. He went from quietly delivering great work to showing up every week with clarity, insight, and confidence. And we systemized his whole personal brand, built a simple automated content plan, tuned his outreach to match how he actually talks, and then within a month, 5-figure deal from an inbound lead who messaged him and seen he'd been posting stuff that actually aligned with the brand for the past month. And that's what happens when you don't just hope people see you, but strategically project the version of you they want to work with. If you watched the earlier video on building an AI brand voice agent for clients, the exact same principle applies to you. Why would you build a system to help other brands communicate if you haven't built one for yourself? So if you missed that, click here to watch it next, because your system should be doing the heavy lifting for you. And look, if you're serious about becoming one of the video creatives that are replacing the bloated out mid-tier agencies that I just mentioned, you need to stop hiding behind your work. Don't let other people's opinions control your life, and turn any fear into abundance. There's a lot of opportunity there, right? Step into the spotlight, take control of your visibility, and build a brand around the person you actually are. Because when people feel like they know you, they trust you, and they see you consistently, selling becomes hell of a lot easier, all right? Your content does the pre-framing, your outreach lands better, your positioning speaks for itself, and that's how you get more clients, not just once, but on repeat. Chuck a like, subscribe, get yourself fucking involved, right? Because next up, you're gonna learn how to generate an ROI for your clients and truly become an asset for them. I'll see you there.